children hit crossing Highway 80. They were hurting before the hit and run. How you and neighbors can join in and help. And downgraded but still deadly. The latest on Florence and how crews in the Carolinas are responding. Plus, in 4 days, you'll have one less way to cross over the Ouachita. More on the Indian Bridge closure and what motorists can expect. Thank you for choosing Fox 14. I'm Sarah Scarlett. First on Fox, tonight we learn more about the mother and her 2 young sons who were hit on Highway 80 Wednesday night. The father of the children sat down with Fox 14's Chelsea Jones as he shares what the family was struggling before life took an unexpected turn for the worse. Chelsea?
Well, Sarah, Carlos Williams says his girlfriend and their kids were leaving church that night, and he was home trying to fix their trailer. Then he heard a loud boom and a scream that sounded all too familiar.
I just think I should have just locked up everything and just, went with them.
Wednesday night, the people Carlos Williams loves the most were almost taken from him. His girlfriend, Nikki Stevens, and their 2 sons, 4-year-old J.J. Williams and 7-year-old Lee Williams, went to church at the gathering. And as they were on their way home, they were hit.
I heard that noise, that thump noise. I'm thinking it's a wreck.
It was a wreck, but even worse, he heard cries for help and a voice he recognized immediately. Williams says he could hear his boy screaming. That's when he came rushing down here, only to find his son and his girlfriend lying in this ditch.
I see her laying in the water. She laying in the water just face up like this, and my other son was in the water. I guess he was trying to pull himself up.
Stevens and the boys were allegedly hit by Sharon Sanders, who police say sped away from the scene. They were able to locate her at her home Thursday morning. They say evidence from the crash still on her SUV. Bloodstains, pieces of clothing, and damage across the front.
I felt like I wasn't there, you know what I'm saying, for him.
And this incident comes after the family was already struggling to make ends meet. Williams was laid off last year and has been mowing grass to earn a few bucks. But it's just not enough. So now he's asking for help.
I just thought I just didn't need, much of help or something. But, come to find out that everybody needs help.
JJ sustained a fractured hand. Lee has a broken leg and staples in his arm. Stevens has 3 fractures in her T-spine, a cut on her kidney, and staples in her head. The family is in need of some help, and if you're interested in how you can get involved, you can head over to myarklamiss.com. Live in the Media Control Center, Chelsea Jones, Fox 14 News.
Thanks, Chelsea. A single vehicle crash leaves 1 dead in Jackson Parish. Louisiana State Police responded to a crash on Highway 542 near the Jimmy Davis Tabernacle. Their investigation revealed that a 2004 Nissan Frontier driven by 6-year-old Joseph Cook was heading south on 542. According to police, Cook ran off the road and into the ditch where the vehicle began to overturn. Cook was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected and pronounced dead at the scene. Police suspect impairment is a factor, but toxicology tests are pending. So far in 2018, there have been 26 fatal crashes resulting in 30 deaths in our area. The search for a missing Monroe woman ends on a positive note. Roberta Watson has been missing for a month. Police started looking for her after her sister said she hadn't spoken to her since August 13th. Police say Roberta was found in Bastrop. In news across the nation, Florence has been downgraded to a tropical storm after claiming 5 lives and leaving more than 600,000 people in the dark. For more than 24 hours, Florence has been battering the Carolina coast. The deadly slow-moving storm isn't showing signs of stopping anytime soon. Flying debris, downed power lines, and uprooted trees show Florence's force, but it's the catastrophic flooding that emergency crews warn have become deadly.
This is going to be a very trying period. This is something that we haven't had before. Rain and that flooding equals danger, and that means we're going to have patience.
Across the Carolinas, more than 26,000 people have evacuated to shelters, but some chose to ride out the storm at home. Already, first responders have rescued hundreds of people from the rising water. Still, more are trapped and awaiting help. After conviction in one trial and ahead of the scheduled start of another, Paul Manafort strikes a deal. Manafort agreed to cooperate with Robert Mueller's probe into Russian interference in the 2016 campaign. The former Trump campaign chairman pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of witness tampering. The prosecution said other charges will be dropped at sentencing or at the agreement of successful cooperation. Manafort's attorney said his client is doing it for his family.
But he's accepted responsibility, and he wanted to make sure that his family was able to remain safe and live a good life.
The prosecution said other charges will be dropped at sentencing or at the agreement of successful cooperation. Manafort's conviction on 8 counts of bank and tax fraud in Virginia was the first trial win for Mueller's team. Manafort had faced 7 charges in the District of Columbia. Voting is the nation's way of electing officials to take office, but it's not only for electing presidents or mayors. They practiced voting today at Minnie Ruffin Middle School. They want their students to see how they'll be electing their new student council members in November. The children learned how to use official voting booths. As one student cast her ballot, her mother says her daughter is ready.
She sees the importance of making her own choice as far as who her leaders are, so I'm just excited for her. I'm happy that I get to share this experience with her.
The middle school's teachers and staff say this early experience in voting has a dual benefit. Students learn how to make their own decisions and become more eager to learn in history and social studies. Come next Tuesday, Ouachita Parish will be down a bridge. Orange cones and barricades up on the Endem. Fox 14's Lance Johnson looks at the reasons behind the closure and whether it's time to add a bridge even after the Endem is fixed.
We don't like to close bridges and we don't like to close roadways, but we have maintenance activities that we have to do.
The Louisiana Department of Transportation says the Endem Bridge will close starting Tuesday for repairs. There are only 3 river crossings here in Monroe, and this closure begs the question, what about a 4th bridge over the Ouachita? Transportation leaders say that's where things get complicated.
I guess the issue with building a 4th bridge is the funding for the 4th bridge.
While they say right now there's no way to pull millions of dollars out of their pockets to build another roadway over the river, they say it would be beneficial.
When you had incidents or things like that on one of your main bridges, then it would give you an alternative route.
The Endem Bridge closing doesn't just affect pedestrians or the flow of traffic. It also affects local businesses like Traps that are sitting right next to the bridge and right on the water. The restaurant's owner says the closure will affect how he and his employees get to work.
Some of our employees take the transit system in Monroe and they walk across the bridge. So, I might have to alter my routes and help some people get to work.
But he says a short bridge closure for maintenance is better than an extended detour.
We've been here for going on 4 years now, and I think, people around here kind of know how to get to us from alternate routes. I'd rather them shut it down for 2 days and prevent it shutting it down for 6 months.